Our new project is called the Famous Dinner Table. So, before I give you the instructions, I like having students think about why we do this. So, kind of think to yourself, think about the last book you read and ask yourself what percent of that book was dialogue or characters talking? What percent of the book was in quotation marks? I don't know if there's an exact right or wrong number of how the average amount of how much of a book is dialogue, but I would say for most stories, it's at least 50%. So that means as a creative writer, if you can leave my class knowing how to write 50% of your story more correctly, that's a big deal. And so this project is going to help you practice writing a short story still. We're still just writing a short story, but specifically, it's going to help you practice writing correctly formatted and believable dialogue, which are two things that most students your age can't do totally correctly. They can do it a little bit, but there's lots of little things they need practice on to do it better. So we're going to do that in the weirdest way I could think of. So we're going to write a short story. You're going to have to use your imagination, just like always. You're going to pretend that you're inviting famous people to a dinner party. So your story is a story about what happens at that made-up dinner party and the conversation that takes place. So you're going to start out by brainstorming. You're going to be thinking about, why am I having this fictional party? And you're totally in control here, right? So it could be anything at all. Maybe you're having the dinner party because you just found out you have to move to Mars next week. So it's your last celebration with your friends. Maybe you're having the dinner party because you found out you've actually been royalty all your life. Anything goes, but really and truly, the more ridiculous and unique the reason for why you're having this party, the more fun you're going to have writing the story. Then you're going to think about where, because the weirder the idea for where, the more fun it's going to make it. So maybe you're having your dinner party at the bottom of the sea in the lost city of Atlantis. Maybe you're holding your dinner party in space, in the International Space Station. But again, if it's kind of weird and ridiculous and unique, you're going to have a lot more fun writing the story. And then for when, you can get really creative too. Like it's fine if you want your party to just be in present day, that's no big deal. But you could also make it kind of weird and interesting and unique. Maybe it's happening back in the age of dinosaurs and a T-Rex crashes in and starts eating your guests. Or maybe it's 100 years in the future and there's cool, crazy technology. Anything goes. The best part is the who. So you get to invite whoever you want. It could be a real celebrity, a made-up character, somebody who's alive, somebody who's already passed away, a politician, a cartoon, an animated character, singers, actors, scientists, athletes, anybody. For example, if I was writing my story, maybe I would invite Mickey Mouse, Michael Scott from The Office, and Mulan. But this is a big one. You want to pick a character who has a pre-established personality. It makes writing their dialogue or what they're saying, it makes writing that so much easier. Because think about it like this. So, like, all of us grew up on Sesame Street, right? So if I was going to write, one of my characters was Elmo, and I was trying to make his dialogue believable, that's so much easier. Everybody knows how Elmo speaks, right? And how he talks. So if they have a strong personality, even better. But you are not making up your own characters for this story. And this one's important too. The more different your guests are from each other, the more fun you're going to have writing your story. One year I had a girl who was like, Mrs. Coates, could I do all Stranger Things? And I said yes. But then we found out she actually wasn't having as much fun as everybody else. Because think about it like this. If you put a bunch of really weird, unexpected people in a room together and they have a conversation, that's going to be entertaining, and it's going to be fun for you to write. So, for example, what if I put Hagrid from Harry Potter, Cookie Monster, and former President Trump in the same room? Can you imagine how weird that conversation would be? That would be fun to write and to think about, and it's going to make the whole project better. So try and think about what weird combination of people could I put together. And then on this one, you're just going to narrow it down to your top 4. You could definitely have more than 4 characters in your story, but narrow it down to your favorite 4 on this. And here's how this works. So let's say I invited Homer Simpson. Homer's going to talk about maybe donuts and his family and work. And then you have to think about their personality, because personality really affects how we talk. For example, think about Mr. Drozd. Does he talk the same way that I talk? No, because we have very different personalities. Does Coach Ross talk the same way that Mr. C talks? No, they have very different personalities. So in this part, just think about their personality a little bit, right? Like Homer Simpson, he's kind of dumb, and he's a little bit lazy, and that's going to affect how he talks. Let's do another one. So Cookie Monster, he's going to talk about his friends on Sesame Street. Maybe he'll talk about how much he hates vegetables, and he would talk about cookies. And his personality, he's kind of obsessive, but he's also really excitable, right? So that's all you have to do here. On this entire brainstorm, you do not need to do complete sentences on any of it. So you're just briefly planning out your ideas so that then you can write your story.